and go. Hi there, Miss Teresa here from South Hill Bible Church. Happy to see you again, even though I can't actually see you, I can see you in my mind. And I can't wait to actually see you in person again, but enjoy being able to see you this way. So let's go ahead and start our Bible class for this week. Well, now this week was a special week. It was Mother's Day, wasn't it? Yeah, I hope you all had a wonderful time with your mothers, and I hope that you had a chance to do something special. It's always a great time to be able to tell your mother that you love her and want to help out in any way you can, but you know, we can do that anytime, and we should be doing that all the time. We should be doing that for both of our parents, shouldn't we? Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the prayer. And I think since it was Mother's Day that we will do I love you prayers, and we also will do I'm thankful prayers. But does anybody remember what the other two are? Well, let's go through them again. I love you prayers are prayers of adoration. I'm sorry prayers or prayers of confession. I'm thankful prayers or thanksgiving prayers. And please prayers or prayers of supplication. So I wonder if any of you have a special friend that will pray with you today. I've got somebody here, and this is my prayer bear for today. So if you have a prayer bear or a prayer stuffed animal, go ahead and grab that. Otherwise, just put your hands in your lap and let's all bow our heads in prayer. All right, let's go. Dear God, thank you so much for giving us our mothers and our fathers. They make our lives so wonderful. They do so much for us, and we love them so much. Thank you for giving me food to eat in a warm house. Thank you for giving me the love of my parents and the love of my family. God, I love you very much, and thank you for sending Jesus to save all of us from sin and to save us from our own sins. Be with us for the rest of this week until we see each other again at the church. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, well, I'm going to put you down, Mr. Prayer Bear. All right, well, this week we're starting a new lesson. And first we're going to do a little review of the other lessons. Now last week, if you remember, we did a whole bunch of review. We did the entire unit review. And this week our topic is David becomes king. So we've been learning about David, who was anointed by Samuel to become the next king of Israel after Saul. But many things have happened since then, haven't they? Oh yes. David faced the giant Goliath, do you remember that? And won the fight with a sling and a stone. Then David began working for King Saul as a musician and armor bearer. God helped David do well in all he did, and Saul became jealous. He tried to kill David twice with a spear, but God protected David, didn't he? Yes, he did. And he became friends with Saul's son, Jonathan. David finally had to run away from Saul, who continued to chase after him and try to kill him. Then he could have killed Saul twice in a cave. Do you remember that? Once in a cave, and then also while he was asleep in his camp, but he chose not to. And do you remember what we learned about that? That he could have taken revenge upon Saul, but instead he did not, did he? No. He instead showed mercy upon him because he knew and trusted God, and that God knew when it would be the right time for him to become the king. Waiting is hard for us, isn't it? I know that it can be really hard. And I'm going to show you a piece of fruit here. And this looks like it's a banana, isn't it? Yeah. And sometimes you buy bananas when your mom or your dad, or you go with them to buy a banana at the store. You buy them and they're green. Now, do you think that this piece of fruit looks like it's ready to eat, or not? Well, I think that it looks ready to eat. Now, what if this was a green banana? Just green, 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 green. Do you think that would be ready to eat?
No.
No, that's right. And what's the difference between those two? A ripe banana and a not ripe banana? What is the difference between those two? What do you have to do with a piece of unripe fruit to find out if it's ready to eat? Or what do you do with a piece of unripe fruit? Anybody know?
I don't know.
Okay. Time has to pass. You have to wait. And when the fruit has ripened, then it is ready to eat. But if it isn't, it's not going to taste very good. And you probably are going to be pretty sad that you ate it. Well, that's the same as in this story, because the fruit is kind of like God's promise to David that he would become the king of Israel. But David had to wait many years before the time was right. So, today we're going to find out how God made this happen at just the right time. All right? So, because Saul had tried to kill him, David left the land of Israel to hide. He went back to Achish, the king of Gath. Remember, Gath was a city in the land of the Philistines, who were enemies of Israel. The last time David went there, he had to act crazy so they wouldn't kill David, because they wouldn't know that he was the one who was David, who had killed their champion Goliath. King Achish liked David and let him stay and work for him. He even gave David the city of Ziklag for him and his men and their families to live in. Well, that's a pretty big deal, isn't it? Getting in a city to live in. Yes, that would be a big deal today, and it was a big deal back then. So, here is David, right here. Here is David dressed for battle. David and his men went out and secretly attacked the enemies of Israel. But when they showed the king all the things that they brought back, he thought they had taken it all from the Israelites. This made Achish think David was on his side now. The king trusted David and wanted him to fight against King Saul and the Israelite army. Oh no, do you think that David wanted to fight against his own people? No, of course he didn't. David loved the Israelites, and he respected Saul as their king, so he was probably glad when the Philistine army commanders told him to go home. God got him out of there just in time. There's one time that God is in time, isn't he? Just like the piece of fruit. You have to wait. When David and his men went back to Ziklag, they discovered something terrible had happened. Another enemy, the Amalekites, had stolen everything. They captured all the women and children and burned down the city. David's men were totally upset and blamed David for what happened. They even wanted to throw stones at him and kill him. Whew. David was in trouble. Right here, the second one. David was in trouble. Let's find out what he did in 1 Samuel 30, chapter 6. So grab your Bibles if you have one, and we'll read 1 Samuel 30, chapter 6. All right? David was greatly distressed because the men were talking of stoning him. Each one was bitter in spirit because of his sons and daughters. But David found strength in the Lord his God. Just another instance where David is finding his strength from God, isn't it? Yes. David, again, right back there, David was really upset because his family had been captured and now his men wanted to kill him. So what did David do? Where did he find the strength to take care of this problem? Who did he look for his strength?
God.
That's right, God. David asked God what he should do. God told him to take his men and go after the Amalekites. And that's what they did. They attacked the Amalekite camp and found all their wives and children. That's wonderful. They took them home along with all the animals and things that had been stolen. What a reunion. That is far better than before, isn't it? How Absolutely. So, Saul and Jonathan then, so God helped David and his men fight the Amalekites and save their families. But while that was happening to David, the Philistines were fighting the Israelites. King Saul was terrified when he saw the huge Philistine army. Sadly, when Saul stopped trusting and obeying God, he lost his faith and his courage. Wow. Could that be true for us too? For us to keep our faith and our courage, we need to trust and rely upon and obey God, don't we? Absolutely. Let's read how this battle turned out in 1 Samuel 31:7. All right, so let's turn to 1 Samuel 31:7. Okay. When we're together, I'll let you read these, all right? That would be great. When the Israelites along the valley and those across the Jordan saw that the Israelite army had fled and that Saul and his sons had died, they abandoned their towns and fled. And the Philistines came and occupied them. So they took it over, didn't they? Yep. 3 of King Saul's sons, including Jonathan, David's best friend, were fighting against the Philistines. What happened to Saul and his 3 sons? Anybody know?
I don't know.
They all died, didn't they? We just read that. This was a terrible battle. Many of the Israelite soldiers died too. The rest of them ran away from the enemy. Then, right here, when David heard the bad news of the battle, he wasn't happy about it. He didn't say yay, did he? No. He didn't say yay at all. Instead, he was so sad that he tore his clothes, mourned, cried, and fasted. Do you remember what fasting means? That means he wasn't eating. These were all ways that people used to show that they were very, very sad and sorry. David respected Saul as the king, first king of Israel, right? The first king. He even wrote a song that people would learn and sing to remember King Saul and David's best friend Jonathan. And remember, Saul had tried to kill David several times, hadn't he? Yet he still mourned for him and he wrote a song for him. All right, now we're going to go to the next picture right here. King Saul died. After King Saul died, God told David to go back to the land of Israel. All the people of the tribe of Judah made David their king. But this was only a small part of Israel. One of Saul's sons, named Ishbosh, became king over the rest of Israel. And there was a long war to see who would be king over the whole country of Israel. In the end, Ishbosheth was killed. So who would become king over all Israel? Can you guess who it might be? Well, let's find out. In 2 Samuel 5, 3, and 4. All right, 2 Samuel 5, 3, and 4. When all the elders of Israel had come to King David at Hebron, the king made a covenant with them at Hebron before the Lord, and they anointed David king over Israel. David was 30 years old when he became king, and he reigned 40 years. Well, he waited a long time to be king, didn't he? Yes, he had. Who came to David at Hebron? Do you remember who came? Well, it was all the elders of Israel. All the elders from all the tribes of Israel came to see David. What did they do to David?
I don't know.
Well, they anointed him as king over Israel. Yes, we just read that. How old was David? Was he 10? Was he 20? Or was he 30? Anybody know? He was 30, that's right. How many years does it say he reigned as king? Well, we just read that too. It says he reigned for 40 years. That's a long time, isn't it? So God rewarded David right here in this last picture. God rewarded David for his faith and patience to wait for God and make this happen. Now David was king over all the tribes of Israel, and God would help him lead and protect them. David chose Jerusalem to be his new capital city. It would become an important city in the history of Israel and also the world. Wow, well, we had really learned a lot about David up to this point and just learned so much more today. And he had the faith that in God's time, he would become the king of all of Israel. And God, he did it, didn't he? Yes, he did it in his own perfect timing. Just like we only want to eat a banana when it's ready to be eaten. All right? Okay, well, everybody stand up, and William's going to join me, and we're going to sing our song, okay? All right, William, say hi.
Hello.
Okay, everybody remember it? Here we go. Cast your burden unto Jesus, for he cares for you. Cast your burden unto Jesus, for he cares for you. Higher, 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 higher. Higher, higher, lift up Jesus higher. Higher, 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 higher. Higher, higher, lift up Jesus higher. Cast your burden unto Jesus, for he cares for you. Cast your burden unto Jesus, for he cares for you. Lower, 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 lower. Lower, lower, stand Satan lower. Lower, 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 lower. Lower, lower, stand Satan lower. Cast your burden unto Jesus, for he cares for you. Cast your burden unto Jesus, for he cares for you. Higher, 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 higher. Higher, higher, lift up Jesus higher. Lower, 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 lower. Lower, lower, stand Satan lower. Cast your burden unto Jesus, for he cares for you. Cast your burden unto Jesus, for he cares for you. All right, that was fun. Okay, do you remember last week we did the balloon toss where we tried two balloons and try to keep them up in the air? Well, I hope you have some balloons ready. And so, William, go ahead and pick two balloons.
I'll go for these, I guess.
Okay, move back just a little bit. Okay. All right, and I've got mine. And so on the count of three, we're going to see if we can, how long we can keep both of our balloons. And that's why we have different colors. So I have a purple and a red balloon, and William has a yellow and a blue balloon. So I'm going to count to three. Are you ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3, go! Ah, I already lost mine! William's still going. He's still got two in the air. Look at him go. Woohoo! He is doing good. Up, 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 up. All right, I'll count it. Fell on the counter. Okay. Almost. Oh, good job. Wow, he did really good. Okay, let's do it one more time. You ready? Gonna count to three. 1, 2, 3, go! Woo! Oh, I hit my head. That was a good lucky thing. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, William's still going though. He's still going. Go, William, go! Wow, William's pretty good at this, isn't he? Oh, I bet some of you at home are still going. Oh yeah. This is hard. William has got a really good go here. Yeah, all right. That was great. That was, I think, the longest that we've done it. All right, one more time. And ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Boy, up, no. He's out too.
No, I'm not.
Oh yeah, because you're holding one. Okay. Oh, that was fun. All right. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of Simon Says wrap up. Try not to hit the balloons again. Okay, I'm gonna start. All right. Simon says do a jumping jack. Simon says jump up and down. Simon says turn around. Simon says turn to the left. Simon says turn to the right. Turn around. Did I get anybody? Okay, William's turn.
Simon says touch your head. Simon says touch your neck. Simon says touch your knees. Simon says turn to the left. Simon says turn to the right. Turn around.
You didn't get me. Keep going.
Okay, Simon says touch your knees. Simon says turn around. Simon says do a jumping jack. Do another jumping jack. Close.
That was close. That was close. All right, well, we're going to come and say goodbye. We're going to come over here and see you. So, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll be back again next week. We really miss you guys, and can't wait to see you again. We love you, and you let me know if there's anything fun that you've been up to, or if there's anything that you want me to pray for you about. Just have your mom or your dad give me a call or send me an email, all right? Okay, I love you guys. Bye.